Yeah, hopefully the world over is smarter about illness after we make it through this, you know?
There are more turnkeys than cut purses down here. I've had my fill of chains. Let's tread lightly, shall we?
You telling me that I'm gonna have to sneak? Is that what you're saying? Cause I know goody at the sneaky. I good at the boom boom. Do not hurt the bunny!
Yeah.
Alright, we're just gonna kill everybody. I want... to do that. Yeah! Okay, so what is considered critically wounded to Final Fantasy 12? FF12 first aid. There's got to be a percentage at which it works. And I need to set that percentage less than 20%. So he has his set to any ally. So we'll copy that. Okay. And we'll see if it works. I'm hoping that by us saying ally any, he'll use it once first aid's available. That's my thought process. Because I'm assuming that it's going, I can't use it, because it'd be doing it right now. And then as soon as first aid is a viable option, it casts it at 20%. Alright, you big nerd. Okay, somebody just shot me. Oh! You tell me that's not 20%?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what did Noah do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Snacked on bread. Did he creep up on you and then snack on bread? God damn it. He clearly doesn't have much to do with his time right now. The poor boy, the isolation's getting to him. Oh, fuck. Yeah. As a community, we've all been playing a lot of Final Fantasy XIV. That's what they're talking about right now. Kind of getting into the mood and getting kind of prepped up for us beating 12 and then 13. And then we're going to play some of the MMO as a community for a little while. And even outside of its order. We also got Final Fantasy Tactics that we need to squeeze in somewhere. I don't know how we're going to do that. Crystal Chronically? Are you asking if we're gonna play Crystal Chronicles? I'm just waiting for him to get the damn game out. But yeah, it's apparently supposed to have crossplay, but if it ends up not having crossplay, well, that's right, it's securely locked. I can't get back to that crystal. If it ends up not having crossplay, I am getting it on the Switch because the majority of this community does have Nintendo Switches over PlayStation 4s. So that we can all play Crystal Chronicles together. I'm very excited to play that. I've been one of my fondest like co-op memories ever as a child was we had you remember growing up you had that rich friend. We had our rich friend and his parents had bought him and all of his siblings, which he had two brothers, Game Boy SPs. And then my friend had a Game Boy SP and then he had a GameCube, and we actually got the full 4 Game Boy SPs hooked up to a GameCube with Crystal Chronicles in it, and we got to order a pizza, and his mom and dad, not the rich kid, but the kid who had the GameCube, we went over to his house. His mom and dad went out and was like hanging out with family, and they weren't going to be back until like noon the next day, and we all just sat down and drank so much soda and ate so much fucking pizza and just played Crystal Chronicles all fucking night. It was one of the best nights of my fucking life, and I have been chasing that high for fucking 20 years. And Crystal Chronicles is coming back out now, so like they're re-releasing. So I'm excited to like go nuts on that game. I really wish it was already out because we could really enjoy it with this whole, you know, lockdown thing we're all going through. Just picked up something.
Yeah. Ha. Yeah.
Is there a price on the game? It's probably gonna be full price. Is Crystal Chronicles coming out for Switch? Yes, and PlayStation 4. And maybe PC? I don't know. I want Xenoblade Definitive Edition. I do too. Best thing always happens with pizza. Special edition of the art book of Xenoblade. Never played it before with Definitive. It looks amazing. It does look really good. It's a good way to learn the story of Shulk. Wait, what? Win for what? Like, what are you asking that in response to? Yeah, the new Bravely Default looked good. Bravely Default 1's really good. What? That Crystal Chronicles was coming out? Or, Xenoblade? Oh, Crystal Chronicles? Yeah. Yeah, Crystal Chronicles is getting like a HD remake. Here, we'll watch a video on it real quick. Let's switch over to the video watching screen. But yeah, Crystal Chronicles. It was just such a simple but really cute and fun dungeon crawler game that you can play with your friends, and just look at it. It looks so much better. But yeah, I got one night to play this game. We spent probably 18 hours straight playing it. Switch, iOS, Android, and PS4. That's the 4 consoles it's coming out with. And what it's saying here in Japanese is that it has crossplay. Some people are saying, though, that the Western releases won't. I don't see why that would be the case, but hopefully it has crossplay. The overlay looks similar to yours. That is right. It's supposed to be, but here's the thing. The game's gone radio silent for months. We haven't heard anything on it for a long time. There was a rumor it was supposed to come out in February. Now it's 2020 summer, but we haven't heard anything. We don't know what's going on with the game. So I'm hoping they stick to it. But yeah, PS4 is supposed to have crossplay with the Switch. I'm gonna grab it on Switch. I just don't know how you have crossplay between the PS4 and the Switch. That's what I'm hung up on. Nothing. Does Rocket League have crossplay on Switch to PS4? I know it does for PS4, Xbox, and PC, but it's out for Switch, right? Rocket League's on Switch. That's true. I think they would probably give it to us at the same time. I'm hoping they give it to us at the same time. But yeah, that's something I'm very looking forward to. In 2020 is the re-release of that.
Yeah.
What are these things? Add additional gambit slots. Cool. What's up, Toxically? He just screamed fungus. I don't know why, but... Oh, she's cutting up mushrooms, so she went fungus. He likes mushrooms. I kind of want to get this whole corner taken care of. So, alright, here's a question. Potions restore more HP. In Final Fantasy XII, does that mean potions used on her restore more HP, or potions used by her restore more HP? Potion lore, survey says... Okay, so it's used by that character. Yep, yeah, 32-bit. I think you're right. Well, I mean that's what the forums on GameFAQs say. So that's actually kind of cool because that means I can build Fran as like an alchemist archer. So she'll stay in the back using her bow, keeping herself safe, and then I can set gambits on her to heal with potions and high potions at certain percentages of damage on somebody, and her potions will hit harder. So I feel like we got a good little game plan going here. I want this next in physical attack damage. Okay. Improve her gambit of critical status. What does that mean though? What percentage is that at? I'm gonna say okay. So for the time being, she is a... Actually, let's change it to 50%. I don't think 50% is too egregious. I don't think that's gonna eat through too much of our potions, but it's gonna make my life a little bit easier. So technically, she should do it on Van here next time we get into combat, which is right now.
Yeah.
Well, we know that 20% is what first aid can be used at, but does that... I mean, they do say critical, so yeah, I would say probably 20% is critical. We can run with that math. Yeah. What I did was identified when first aid gets used, did not identify what the game considers to be critical, but first aid says usable on somebody with critical health, so transitive definition, that's probably correct. Um, did I go and explore everything? And oh, I go up the middle here.
Amaru Sivanoshku.
You have grown very thin, Bosch. Less than a shadow, less than a man. Sentenced to death, and yet you live? Why?
To silence Hondor. How many times must I say it?
Is that all?
Why not ask Vane himself? Is he not one of your masters?
We've caught a leader of the insurgents. She's being brought from Rabanasta, the woman, Amalia. Who could that be? Such a faithful hound to cling so to a falling kingdom.
Better than throwing it away.
Throwing it away, as you threw away our homeland.
Who's there?
This the place?
The mist is flowing through this room. It must be going somewhere.
You know Imperials. Please, you must get me out.
It's against my policy to speak with the dead, especially when they happen to be Kingslayers.
I did not kill him.
Is that so? Huh. Glad to hear it.
Please, get me out. For the sake of Dalmasca.
Dalmasca? What do you care about Dalmasca? Everything that's happened is because of you! Everyone that's died, every single one. Even my brother. You killed my brother!
Quiet! The guards will hear.
I'm dropping it.
Pirates without a sky. Spare us your quiddities.
Yeah, but he's
A traitor, I know. Stay here and fight if you want. If you can walk, let's go.
You're taking him with us?
We could use another sword arm.
And you have it.
Bosch joins as a guest. Barheim Passage. Got any equipment? Okay. A balance moat? 2,510 gil. What? That's the most gil we've gotten yet. Okay, can't loot that. Okay, so let's check the bazaar. Just the Forgotten Grimoire. Chromed leathers, nice. Okay. We have finally found a mage masher, and we got a silver bow as well. So we'll grab a silver bow. Get a mage masher. I am buying a rod. I don't give a shit buying it because keep not having access to it. We could get 2 leather breastplates, but bronze helm. Get the bronze armor. Can't wear the buckler. Leather shield can't wear. I believe headguard and leather breastplate would be an improvement for her both. This is why they gave us a chunk of money. Okay. Yeah, she can be way better now. It's beautiful. All right, so she'll be good to polish people off is kind of my theory there. Surprised that still no shield. Okay, this is all good. This is good. We actually got everything I wanted out of this, so I'm good here. And we still got some money. Alright, so there's no power to the gate. Treasures. Oh. I don't want to do that shopping again, so let's save. God damn, that saves so quick. Alright, so we need to find a way to get power up and running. Bosh, put on a shirt, would you? He's like, nah, bruh. Looking good. Looking swole. In the chat?
Yeah, I saw.
Toxic Lily is asking if we have any seamsters or seamstresses watching. Anybody who is good with sewing. What would I do? Taco says no. Sadly. Why?
Gotta be too big.
I think if you're looking for seamsters in my community, it's going to be all virtual and digital. That means that they probably are tailors in World of Warcraft. It seemed that we don't. Good gravy. Oh, give me a fuse. All right. I was gonna search his shop to see if I could buy a fuse from him. Oh. Toxic Lily, shoot the question off to chat anyways. See if they can... Lamiran's speaking, so give them a go anyway, see if they know.
I make these masks with like approximately 1/2-inch pleats, and I'm trying to put quick, easy pleats into these masks, and I want to know a quick way to do it. I've seen the fork thing, but that makes like a 1-inch or more pleat, which is too much for what I'm looking at. I know there's a butter knife pleat. Maybe I'll try that. I'm just wondering if there's an easier way to go about it. Maybe I could use a plastic fork and cut off some of the prongs. I don't know. Just I'm looking for suggestions.
What about this big? I thought I was helping. So it sounds like the question is related to pleats, which I think she means plates and she's pronouncing it wrong. Because she talked a lot about silverware. What's the matter, Magni? Dad, that was dumb. Ought to be able to look for all manner of ways out now. The lights are on, the passage ain't so bad, but let the cargo drop and some fierce beasts. Let the charge drop and some fierce beasts start coming out of the dark. Opening this gate took the charge down, son. The gauge ought to show you how much charge is left. About 30% operate in something the size of these gates, I'd say. Alright, so we gotta, like, fix the power supply as we go.
Hey, who turned out the lights? One of those?
I've heard of these. Mimics. They disguise themselves as all manner of things, then strike when you're least wary. Some of them have a fondness for energy, I'm told. They gorge themselves on the stuff till there's naught left.
So, what happens then?
Lights out, and it's worse in the dark. Much worse. So, let them get too close to one of those conduits, and they'll suck it dry. But don't worry, it'll give the energy back if you ask nicely. Sticking it with a sword helps too. Clock's ticking.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
They mostly come out at night. Mostly. Last thing I need to find down here is Newt. Okay.
Yeah.
Woo. Eye droops. God damn, all these potions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. I'm gonna go this way in hopes that I can get over to that other track because I saw treasure down there. Get him! Don't let that son of a bitch run away.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Another potion. $14 gil, come on. Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you, Mags. Very fussy puppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yarp. Okay, so line on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like this is a side path before we go back to the story progressing side. Yeah, did they change it to Tuft? Ripped it right out of a phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah.
66 girl. This reminds me of Blackwing Lair, just that little stint there. was battle harness, right? That's what I just read. Oh. When attacked, automatically counter with a weapon. That's pretty cool. Whoops. Pleasure. Holy cow. You can really get that camera messed up. Goddamn flans. Ugh. Green liquid. Gross. Blah blah blah. Yeah. What's that? Some pudding flan would be nice. While fighting the flan, you're like, you know what I could really go for? Some pudding flan. Don't know why. Just in the mood for it. Yeah, it has been. I think I'm gonna call it around the 10-hour mark here, guys. Which is just, we got a little bit of time left. But I like starting off a new Final Fantasy and the Final Fantasy challenge real strong. I like getting into it real good. Outlasted you? Well, I think you outlasted us. You've been up way earlier. But as always, it's good having you, Billy. Hopefully we look forward to having you on Final Fantasy again here soon. Since we're all kind of like in the swing of it right now. Yep, have a good night, bud. Give Belly some love on his way out, folks. Kind of. It's kind of the first time playing this one. I played it back at launch. Probably put maybe 20 hours into it at launch. I don't really remember anything of that playthrough. And I didn't care for it back then, so like this is the first time like since 2000, what was it, 6? And I'm giving it an honest try. I'm doing it with the Zodiac version, so like that changes how the job system works significantly, so pretty much like a new game. But yeah, so more or less. We're doing it blind. And so that chat doesn't accidentally spoil things for me, I actually have a non-spoiler guide that we only use when we get stuck, just to keep the stream moving. So I'm not sitting here for like an hour trying to figure out a puzzle. But yeah. I'm excited to kind of experience it for the first time. So far, I've really enjoyed the story. Some folks have said the story's not great on this one. I'm kind of impressed with it so far. I mean, it is pretty much just Star Wars, but still. But I'm also not at the end, you know? And how a story ends can totally dictate if it's a good story or not. Looking at you, Season 8. Yeah, you guys know me. We'll be honest as we go through it. I'll rip it a new one like I did Final Fantasy VIII if we don't like it. Hi, buddy. I know. I'll take you out here in a little bit, bud. Your second favorite in the list, so people are crazy. I think it's good. I mean, even if like you kind of did like take a lot of influence from Star Wars, I'm totally cool with that. Imitation is the, purest form of flattery, and if you guys emulate it in a different way and tell the same story, I think that's creative in its own way. It's clearly not a one-for-one, like, steal. Because Chewbacca talks. But I'm liking it so far. It's definitely pretty high up on the list. Okay. I think that has some good points. It changed mechanics for future Final Fantasies. Sadly, that had no effect on FF13, which we'll do a full review of that after this one. But it's a good little number. I'm very happy they did the Zodiac Age for us here in the States. Okay. There's two ways to get to it. I get it. Yeah, and that's, you know, so like when I played this back in the day, back at when it first came out, I didn't care for the battle system. But that's just, you know, times change people, right? Like everybody when it came out hated Wind Waker. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker pissed people, like people were mad. And that quickly, not quickly, I mean it took like a decade and a half, but over the, you know, over that time, people really grew to love Wind Waker, and it changed. And for me, when this came out, I was like, come on, guys, you just took Final Fantasy XI, your dumb MMO, and you just offloaded it onto a you know, offline platform, and this is dumb, and I don't want to play your bullshit. And I was mad. But now I'm just like, dude, this is kind of fun. This is a cool little... Like, you're giving people who didn't have the internet back then, like, a chance at the MMO experience, you know? 13 had lightning in it. See, I hear people that like 13, hated 13 too, and Lightning Returns, and I was like, that's supposed to be your chance to fix it? I think with Luigi's Mansion, but over time people fell in love with it. Yeah, I still don't like Luigi's Mansion. Well, let me correct that. I like Luigi's Mansion for what it is. There is a lot of misplaced admiration for that game. It is cute. It is adorable. It has style. It is funny. It is a lot of things. But the controls and lack of information on how to appropriately fight a ghost in that game is very atrocious. And I do not have rose-colored glasses that make me look the other way on that.
Mist seethes.
It reeks. Something's close. Nice moves there, Captain.
You mean traitor?
So they say. But I didn't see him kill anyone.
My brother did.
Rex. He said he had a brother 2 years younger. I see. He meant you. Your brother. What became of...
He's dead.
I'm sorry.
It was you who killed him.
I give you my word. That was not the way of it.
Rex, sir. My name's Rex. All I have left, sir. He's 2 years younger than I. Living in
Time botched. Save the discussion for later.
We found him! But if we arrive after he signed the treaty...
Sir, we have little time. You must go to the
As I
tank.
feared. They're slowing us down.
Captain Oculus and for my parents. Captain, why? Our king, have you done?
His Majesty was a traitor.
A twin brother. Fancy that. But still, the pieces fit, I'll give you that much. And he did look like you.
I don't believe you.
Of course not. It was my fault that Rex was there. I am sorry.
My brother, he trusted you. He trusted you and he lost everything. How can I believe you?
Not me, then. Believe in your brother. He was a fine soldier. He fought to the last to protect his homeland. No. Surely he fought to protect his brother.
You don't know anything!
Believe what you want to. Whatever it takes to make you happy. What's done is done.
Woo! So good. I mean, that's not Star Wars right there. That little bit with a twin brother and this like whole reveal. Like, I'm into it. I'm enjoying this story. I like it. Vagrant Story, yeah. I picked up Vagrant Story. We got it sitting over there on the gaming shelf. I do want to actually go through and do a full playthrough of that. Yeah, as we've mentioned multiple times, Final Fantasy XII, Final Fantasy Tactics, and Vagrant Story all kind of work in with each other. Final Fantasy XIV does a little bit too, but really Final Fantasy XIV just has cameos and love letters to every single Final Fantasy game out there. So yeah, they do work in Ivalice a little bit into the MMO. But yeah, Vagrant Story, 12, and Tactics all definitely happen in Ivalice. And really what it is, we've mentioned it earlier when we first started this episode today, it's Matsuno, the developer, the producer, the designer of originally Tactics and then Vagrant Story and then 12. He just has an art style that he really, really enjoys. And so he repeated that in each of the games that he worked on, and they kind of formulated into something. But yeah, Vagrant Story, super good. Super good. It's got this whole sphere of influence combat system, which is a lot kind of like the aggro lines in this one. It's very cool. Very cool. So, for those of you that are just joining, I'm so sorry to leave you on this, but we've been live for 10 hours. We've been playing Final Fantasy XII for a good chunk of time. If you're new to the stream, this is part of the Final Fantasy Challenge, which means you're joining us in the 12th, technically 11th installment of Final Fantasy games. All of which available up on YouTube. Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, regrettably 8, 9, 10. We talked very shortly about Final Fantasy 11 today before we went live with Final Fantasy 12, and then we are here with Final Fantasy 12, which will also be archived up on YouTube as well for your guys' viewing pleasure. After 12, we got a debate. Do we do Final Fantasy Tactics? Because now we can play Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions and see all of the cameos appropriately. I wanted to wait to play Final Fantasy Tactics because Cloud has a cameo in it. And now with War of the Lions, the remake on PSP, which we have found a way to stream for you guys without using an emulator, because I like original hardware. It's called a Sony PlayStation TV, is how we're doing it. Balthier is a cameo character in there, so excited to introduce that. So either we go from 12 to Final Fantasy 13, or we go from 12 to Final Fantasy Tactics and play through that. The thing that kind of makes it hard to do Final Fantasy Tactics is, one, the game is incredibly long and has a lot of grinding to it, so it's not streaming friendly. And two, if we're gonna do it right and get the Dark Knight gear, that means I have to play the game 2 times. Once on a PS Vita and once on the PlayStation TV, because then we have to do co-op matches between the two of them, and I'll be sitting here playing 2 consoles by myself, and then getting that Dark Knight gear onto a character so that we can see all that stuff, because we're kind of completionists here, so I don't know. That's a whole mess. Yeah, exactly. Final Fantasy Tactics does have slow battles. I enjoy it. I love tactics games. Big fan of Fire Emblem. Big fan of the Ogre games. Big fan of Final Fantasy Tactics. But, you know, all that strategy is going on in my head, and that's what makes it fun for people that are just watching it. It's kind of boring. So we debate whether or not we're going to do tactics. Maybe we'll save tactics for the end, you know? But I don't know. We'll get around to Tactics eventually. I very much love that game. But 13 will probably come up after this. I've never given 13 an honest try, so we'll go through that. 14, we'll play a little bit of the MMO, and then we'll wrap up this whole thing with Final Fantasy 15. Tactics Thursday, probably Tactics Tuesday, right? Tactics Tuesday sounds good. But yeah, so guys, thank you so much for coming out. And watching. Those of you that are watching this on YouTube, we will see you guys on the next episode of Final Fantasy Challenge, and what used to be called Final Fantasy Friday until we stopped streaming Fridays. But those of you watching here at the stream, thank you so much. We'll see you guys on the next episode.